Hello beauties, and welcome back to the Bumpy Bones Locksport channel. Now in this video I'm going to be taking this Schlage SC1 Mortise Cylinder and making it into a practice lock. Now what do I mean practice lock? I'm going to take this brass cap off and put in grub screws. That very similar to the Cobra Instruments practice lock, and in that way, rather than disassembling the lock completely, I can just uncap the pinholes and drop the pins and repin it without having to fully take the lock apart. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to cut off the brass cap here. I'm having a bit of a hard time getting tools under it, so I'm just going to go the easy method here. And so let me put down a cloth so I don't get metal scraps all over the place. And let's go ahead and start cutting here. Alright, let me see if I can bend that up a little bit there. Might be able to get my screwdriver in there. Alright, there we go. That's what I want. Perfect. Alright, so now that I got that, I can probably grab it with pliers and alright, perfect. There we go. So, we got that brass cap off, so let me put my Dremel away. So now what we can do is start tapping. And so I've got these taps off of Amazon. They weren't that expensive, and it came with a really nice holder here. It's actually ratcheted, so it's kind of nice. So I'm going to start with the M3, which is a 3mm tap. And I think that's going to be too small. Yep. All right, so then we're going to escalate, upgrade to the M4, which I have right here. And hope that's not going to be, yep, that's going to be perfect. All right, so I'm just going to put this in here. Go ahead and tighten. All right, so what I'm going to do is I don't want to go too deep with this. I'm going to start with pin 5 here, and let's just go ahead and oops. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and actually, do you want? I'm gonna use my other holder here because I'm having a hard time holding on to that one. Sometimes the more basic holders are better. All right. Yeah. Now it's catching good. There we go. Again, I don't want to go too deep. Just want to go deep enough. Yeah, that's nice. All right, let's do the next one. All right, there we go. It's catching now, so let's see how deep we got on that. All right, nice. All right, let's do the others. All right, that will work. You don't want to go too deep when you're doing your taps because the one negative thing about putting grub screws into a lock, and I'll show this after I get these threaded, is that you are restricting the keyway a bit, or the space in the pinholes here. And so don't forget, you have to have space for 3 items. You have to have space for your key pin, your driver pin, and a spring. And the spring compresses and will only go so thick. So if you don't have enough room for all 3 of those items, then if you have like a 9 pin or a large pin in there, it's going to have a really hard time. You won't be able to insert the key. Now, with this being a practice lock, that's not terrible. I always like to key my locks with a key, because in that way I can practice different things. Um, this is hard on hands. Alright, I think that's good enough. Alright. So let me just get that off, and let's go ahead and just clean out the cylinder here just real quick. Alright, good. So now let's go ahead and just test some grub screws in here. So I used the M4. So let me grab some of my M4 caps here. Oops. And there we go. Awesome. Again, I don't want these to go very deep. Alright, well, do you want, I'm just going to take, I need 3 more. I'm not going to put the grub screw because I'm going to pin this on camera. So let me just grab 3 more of these. Alright, now let's put this off to the side. Alright, so what you want to be really careful of when you're doing grub screws into a Schlage or a doorway keyway. So as I said before, you gotta be real careful, and let me go ahead and just change my focus here so it's a little closer here. So as you can see here, in fact, let me get my light over this way so that you can see it better. There we go. So when you have a pen like a pen 9 that's here, you can see how much how compressed that spring is. And so if I go to lift this key, it will only go so far. I can't lift it too high. So if I had that pen 9 up at pin 1 here, or that number 9 pin at pin 1 here, and I go to insert that key, the key won't go past it, especially if there is a small number, a small pin after it, because the key just has this mountain range. So something like this here. So it would, this mountain here would prevent the key from going into the lock. So that is one of the disadvantages of using grub screws. So you just kind of want to be a little careful of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and put our cylinder back in here, because what we're going to do is pin it now with using the hose I just freed up. And I just gotta grab my Phillips head here. Oops, where did I put my Phillips head? Alright. Oh, alright, it'll show up eventually. I think I can use this one. So it is really important to put your tools back when you are done with them. So that way you don't lose them. Oh, I see what I did with it. I put it in the flathead section rather than the Phillips head. Alright, so there we go. We got the core back in. And so now let's go ahead and start throwing in some of the key pins and driver pins and see how it works. Alright, so I'm going to start with pin 1. And pin 1 is a nice 9 pin. So this is actually going to be a good measure on the depth that I've got, and if I might run into that issue that I've been talking about with these. So there's that pin, and let's see here. Here's the key. All right, perfect. We can insert the key. Awesome. Let's go ahead with the next. Go ahead and pin up the rest of these. Oh, let me change my focus back to my desk. There we go. Sorry about that. And let's go ahead and throw our springs in. I got a new camera, and I'm doing manual focusing in order to prevent the autofocus from jumping back and forth during the video. So I just gotta remember when I do that, I gotta change it back. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw in our grub screws here. Alright, and there we go. Fully functional lock. Now we got the grub screws in here so that if I make a mistake with a pinning of a key, I can always just remove the pin or try a couple of new things with it. So there we go. So I hope everybody found this video useful and enjoyed it. If you like my videos, feel free to like and comment on them, and also feel free to subscribe to my channel. I hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I will see you all later.